So I want to welcome everybody that's here. I'm pretty excited about this. Spent some time working through it. So I just want to say the goal tonight is to introduce you to ways of using many different tools to learn more and understand the organization we call AMBUCS. Tonight will be fast paced. It'll be an overview. There will be time for questions. That's why we want to move it right along. Um, in the slideshow, there are links, and Adam, as you know, has already in the chat put a master link so you can actually download this program, the PowerPoint, and then you can use it whenever you want to. Also, don't ever hesitate to call any of the leaders, your chapters, officers, district, region, or national officers. Uh, and the Resource Center is always available for your assistance as well. So we're going to move to the next slide.
There's going to be a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
It gets a little glitchy. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, we go.
I might tell you just a couple words before I end then. Welcome to all the jobs of being an AMBUC. There's just a few there. And I do want to thank Larry Turilli. He is the HATS creator. He created AMBUCS 101 for the Central region. I took that program and updated it, added things that made it a more national approach. But I do have to thank Larry for all of these hats. Next slide, please. The goals for tonight. 5 easy ways to learn the most really fast. Number 1, read your newsletters. Check out the glossary. We'll go into the detail with that. It's a great, great tool. Use the hub. I know you've heard that thousands of times, but we mean use the hub. Then we have a quick reference, AMBUCS 101 presentation, and then attend your region and national conferences. That will really help. Next slide, please. So we're just going to quickly say, hey, the newsletter is a good way to see, learn, and quickly catch up on things. And here is the newsletter that came out today. And we'll scroll down a little bit. There's our chapter chat. And let's head on down to the next topic, excuse me, which is regional conferences. I want to really hit on regional conferences tonight. There it is, everything you need to register, to find out information, and to make reservations for your hotel. You can choose your own region. Hey, you could choose some other region if that weekend doesn't work out for you. Pick any of them. Now you'll have to get there. So if you live in California and you want to drive to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, that might be a ways, but hey, it's a good trip. But Southwest and Great Plains are not that far apart. So think about it. If it doesn't work out for one region, you're welcome to another. We can quickly run down to the Veterans Initiative, which I'm only going to mention because so many people don't know about this program. It is not a bullet point in my presentation, but I want you to read this and to think about it. This is a wonderful opportunity. Again, Amtrak updates are always, always the latest and the greatest. Use this for your chapters. People ask questions about it. And it just goes into detail every month. Adam puts a great, great report in there. So this kind of is a nutshell. Then we're going to have sales and things like that. So you just go on down. There's our national conference, July 23rd through 26th. Put that on your calendar. It's going to be a great time. And then we have our Big Hat fundraiser. These are wonderful options. You can sell these tickets to anybody. It doesn't have to be an AMBUC. You just go out. If you need tickets, I know that there's Fina's contact information, and there's even a QR code. So you can use all of that. That is our newsletter in a nutshell. And next slide, please. It's really quick and concise and to the point. Conferences, I mentioned that a little bit. We don't need to go to this link, but just in case you don't have the newsletter in front of you, you can use that link. You will get national news updates, educational classes with live questions, new friendships, and sharing of ideas. That person-to-person contact and interaction cannot be replaced. So much learning goes on after the formal meetings, and it's fun. Next slide, please. Enjoy the conferences. And excuse me, I'm sorry to say I had influenza A about 2 weeks ago, and I'm really feeling much better, but I still have a little cough. So I might cough once in a while. The AMBUCS Hub, I mentioned it earlier. The Hub is your best friend, other than your real best friend that's human. So to get there, you go ambucs.org, members, Hub for members, sign in, and you arrive at your own homepage. Check it out. Check out your chapter. Donna H. and I were just talking about how, there's all kinds of numbers and you can look at everything about your own chapter if you're an administrator. Otherwise, you can look up all the members that are in your chapter and at least get an email and a phone number so that you can contact them. And then another item on the AMBUCS Hub is called resources. Once you hit, it's at the very top in the small print. You touch that, it will bring up all kinds of information. Chapter education is the first tab, and that is a great resource. All the things we're talking about tonight will be in that chapter resource tab. Next slide, please. All right, the glossary. This is really fun. I remembered this from a long time ago. And so I started searching and I found it on the Hub. This is mostly just a definition of all the special language we use as AMBUCS. And it's like, I think it's 2.5 pages long. You can print this out, carry it with you. If you're a new member or a younger member, or you know what? I actually learned something when I read through it because I had forgotten. Just some terms that we use so that you understand our lingo. Lots of times people go, well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what mission in motion is. I don't know what a lasso pin is. What's the permanent fund? This is just a quick, concise definition. So use your glossary. It is also under the resource tab. Plus you have a link in this program. Next slide, please. So in AMBUCS, Larry Turilli says we have a hat for everything. And that's quite a list if you look at all of it. And that's a lot of the things we do, just not individualized. So let's take a look at what some of those things are. Next slide, please. We have our Big Hat Club. That's our membership drive. I know Terry is on tonight. She is she's a National Big Hat Officer. So she's a good one to contact if you have questions. Again, you can read all of the information, but remember that recruiting 3 new members within any 12-month period will get you that big hat, and that's a lot of fun. Next slide, please. We have 4 annual membership drives now. We didn't want to leave anybody out at any time during the year. And for each different quarter, you get a different pin for the members that you bring in. You get pins for that big hat you're going to get because we know everybody wants to get one. So we have the Saddle Up program that's June to August, fall branding, September, October, and November. The trail ride is in the wintertime, wow, December through February. And then spring roundup rounds up the end of the year. March, April, and May. I missed that one. It should have May in there as well. Sorry. Always making a mistake. That's okay, we'll change it and you'll get a new link. Next slide, please. The membership hub. All your membership information, we kind of alluded to this earlier, is on the hub. I kind of explained, you go in, if you're an administrator, or which many of you I'm sure will be, and if not, you can talk to someone who is your president, treasurer, probably your secretary, and they have a lot of information there. You can see your bills, everybody can see how many members are in their chapter. A lot of different information is there. And we're going to skip the rest of that slide and move to the next one. Okay, AMBILITY. AMBILITY is a word we use a lot in AMBUCS. It covers our Amtrikes, our ramps, our playground, all of those big projects that National recognizes, and we have information out on our website. You can go different places and find this. Like as Larry wrote, each chapter can provide their own ability direction, whatever you want. I know Danville started building playgrounds and ended up building 2 playgrounds and a spray ground. Um, that was really, really exciting. Many, many chapters built some fabulous ramps. And then guess what? You can create whatever activity or project you want. It doesn't have to be one of these listed ones. And of course, most of the money that everybody raises is kept locally. All right, we will move on to the next slide, please.
Hold on.
That's okay.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Okay, we do want to talk about the permanent fund. That is something that a lot of people, when they hear, how do we pay for things and what is this and what is that? So for Ambility, which is the projects there, we have the Amtrak Big Heart Fund. You can be an Amtrak ambassador after 10 $1,000 gifts. Now that's a lot of money, but you can take a long time to get to that $1,000. First, you start with one, and then you build up if you want to. But those gifts are greatly appreciated, and they go into a fund that is not touched except for 4% a year. And there's a slide on that later. The Amtrak wish list, we have something that's a little more affordable for many, many people, and it's called the Wish List Club. It's $365 a year, which is $1 a day. National will bill you for that if you want to help support that. This wish list provides Amtraks for riders not in an area where there's a chapter. And we know there's a lot of those out there. And I think you've probably seen some of this on the website or the Facebook page, sorry. We've been kind of promoting a few of our kids out there who are waiting for Amtraks. We still have evaluation sites. However, currently we are revamping that program. So we'll go into detail about that once we get it revamped. And there are chapters that have trailer operations. We have veterans grants. And we have the Mission in Motion initiative, which has a veteran component. So there's a lot of different ways to fund our Amtraks to people. Next slide, please. Amtraks LLC. Whoa, what is that? And what is AMBUCS versus Amtraks and so on, and how do they work together? This explains it pretty clearly. Amtrak LLC is owned by National AMBUCS. It contracts with the vendors to get the trikes. It provides the trikes to National AMBUCS. The Amtrak Advisory Board provides production direction, research, all of those kinds of things. And those are all volunteers. They're all volunteer AMBUCS. And then Amtrak LLC also helps provide funding to National AMBUCS for programs because they are using our staff. So that explains it just a little bit in a nutshell when people ask how this works together. AMBUCS is the nonprofit side, Amtrak is the for-profit side. Next slide, please. Scholarship. That is another big section of what we do in AMBUCS. In fact, it was the very, very first national program. So it's very, very well funded. We use a William L. White as the $1,000 contribution for that. After 10 William L. Whites, you can have a named scholarship. It'll be put in your name or whatever name you want to call it. You get that honor. The students tend to get between $650 to $3,000 a year. They have to apply every year. And we are currently in our scholarship season. So you will see that all over Facebook and in our newsletters. It's often that we award about $200,000 a year. This is a note for chapters that might not realize every chapter can sponsor at least one student without having additional funds going into this scholarship section of program giving. So pretty soon, National will have a list of people. If you don't know of someone in your area, National can help you find a student, and you contact them, you work with them, and then you decide as a chapter if you want to sponsor them. Our goal is to get scholarships out to students so that we can keep building these programs. And we are all postgraduate now.
Oh, no, thank you. Okay, that's fine. Good day.
Next slide, please. Okay, and oftentimes locally a chapter will award scholarships. In that case, you make up your own criteria, your own amount, and whoever is going to receive it, you have your own criteria for that. National has limited knowledge of those things, so make sure that you report everything possible on the hub under an activity. You can put it in your report, and then we know at National really how much money is out there going to students. Sometimes things we ask on the activity reports, they aren't necessarily for all the numbers and all the awards and all the things that come along with it, but it's for information so National AMBUCS can apply for bigger grants because it looks like we are serving more people. So think about that when you think, oh, I'm not interested in awards. I just, I don't want to do all of those things. But you are helping everyone in an overall situation if you do that. You are helping AMBUCS grow. The national program to support scholarship is $40 a member, and that is part of the program, and that's per year. Sometimes people take that out of their dues, and sometimes people just write a check or make a donation as a chapter or as individuals. Next slide, please. Cornerstone. Cornerstone is the third of our programs that we use, and that is the growth section of our AMBUCS. It aids in new chapter development. It's the reason that we can fund 10 trikes for 10 trikes for new chapters. And I know we have Sarah on here who's going to be very interested in using that program. It really helps a new chapter get on their feet, and the funds come from the Cornerstone donations. If you wish money to go into the permanent fund under Cornerstone, you make a chapter advocate donation of $1,000. Again, you can take as long as you wish to pay for that $1,000. After 10, you are a chapter founding gift giver, just like all the others. Also, you can take your $40 and send it to the Cornerstone program. So those are just ways that you can donate for national programs. And there are scorecard points for chartering new chapters. So those are very interesting and fun ways to help our chapters grow and to fund new chapters. We also fund chapter dues for the first 2 quarters. Those are all wonderful assets, and it's because people make donations to our Cornerstone fund. Next slide, please. 100% program giving. I kind of alluded to all of this. We have the Ability, we have Scholarship, we have Cornerstone. We gave some details about those. You can do 100% in one of them, or you can do 100% in 2 or all 3. Obviously, you will get more activity card points if you give 100% in all 3, but not everybody can afford that. So choose what works for you and give whatever you can, even if it's not $40 a member, because these programs continue to grow and continue to benefit everyone. Next slide, please. Dues. I can safely say that National AMBUCS charges the least amount of dues of any organization similar to ours in the whole United States. We visit SCLC, which is many different types of service organizations, and nobody's membership dues are $25 a year. We do that so we can have more members and that we can have more people out there working for us. You will also have regional dues. They vary from $2 to $11 per year per member. Depending on which region, you will have to check with your region director for that, and your chapter sets their own dues. Of course, this amount of money only covers a bit of our operating costs. Amtrak LLC helps cover some of those operating costs, so our dues can be less, and we appreciate that so very much. Next slide, please. Finances for our mission. Again, this kind of repeats what we have already talked about, so I'll let you read that. Next slide, please. Fundraising. Wow, now the fun part. It's really grassroots. It's one of the big reasons why I joined AMBUCS, stayed in AMBUCS, because I did not have to do a very specific fundraiser. I could create something that worked in my community, something that I knew I could ask my friends to do, and they would come out and help. That is a wonderful treat we have, and it helps our chapters because you know what works in your area. I can sit here as national president. I have no clue what might work for you. So go out and find out what works for your chapter. Next slide, please. We do score. Larry said, Mr. Peter Drucker said, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So that's a way to kind of give us a measuring tool. Okay, you did this much this year. What can you do next year? How can you make a change maybe to make your fundraiser better so that it makes more money? Maybe your visibility, you need to get out there and do more visibility programs, sitting in the mall with your table and some Amtraks or flyers, just getting out there and doing things in the community. You create your scoring by filling out the activity sheet that's on the hub. Next slide, please. We talked about the activity card. There are points available for all the things listed here, and at the bottom we see the yearly recognition levels of chapters. New chapters, you might just want to say, hey, what can we get this year? Let's figure it out. And then next year, just try to improve on that. Next slide, please. There's a wonderful chapter planning guide on the hub. It is listed under the resources, and Adam has put up a nice slide here. And then we also have the leadership calendar.
Oh, sorry, Donna. Do you want to go back to the?
That's okay. We'll go back to it in a minute.
My bad.
It's okay. We have this leadership calendar. It gives some specific direct tasks to do each month to help everybody get through the year. As a new president, I sat down before my year started and I reviewed this for my upcoming year and filled in the blanks for what my local chapter was going to do so that I had all those dates filled out as well. So it's quite a good tool. It's a reminder. And as you could see, the link goes directly there and you can see all the different months. Every month has something different. Here's one in November with the form 134 and 135 and 136. We'll talk about forms for a little bit. There are a couple things that date, and then we have the date for the 990. Those are really two important ones. The 990 will keep the IRS out of your way, and you don't want to mess with them. And this 135, 136 is one of the strong components for National AMBUCS, still remaining a 501c3 and to get more grants that we want to apply for at the national level. And now we're back to this screen where we can talk about this guide. It's a quick, okay, if I do a newspaper article, I can get two points, and I can do 1 a quarter, and that's under visibility. So it's a quick sheet. And I will say, I know Donna H is on here. She was the author of this, and we thank you for that because it's quite handy.
You're welcome.
Slide. Next slide, please. Management and leadership. Management is doing things right, and leadership is doing the right things. Again, it takes both of these tools in your chapter. Remember, when you get chapter members, look for people with different skills. This will really, really help your chapter move forward and be successful. Next slide, please. The Google trick. This is a great trick. It doesn't work quite as much as it used to. However, it still works. And Mr. Larry Turilli was the one who found this, taught everybody how to use it. I must give him credit for it. So you can Google anything. And so let's see how he has used an example here in the next slide. So what you write, AMBUCS, and then whatever you want to know. In this case, he wrote scholarships. What he sees is what he's produced right there. Click here, you click on the scholarship program, it will take you and explain about the program. And you can learn all kinds of things about the program. This works for everything that is on the public side of our website. So you might stumble upon a link that is no longer there. Next slide, please. And for those, you have to go to the membership hub. So again, just remember, it's so easy. You just type it AMBUCS and whatever you want to research. If it won't show up there, then go to the membership hub because it will be on the private side. He explains that we need the user ID and password. That is because we have a lot of personal information there, and we want to be able to share that with our members, but not with the entire universe. The resource tab we already talked about. Look for chapter and member items. Next slide, please. These hats can look really good on you. And I want to say thank you for your attention. And now we're going to move into the question answer part of the session. I know I went really quickly, so let's get everybody up there so I can see them. And I do think, oh, look, we've had more people join. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope this was beneficial. And I know I went quickly. So do we have questions? I'm looking for waving hands physically and waving hands on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, Terry, do you have a
barely
question?
log on. But
That's okay. This works just fine. If you do it
okay,
enough,
good. Here's my
I
hand
will
wave.
eventually see you.
I think one of the things that when we start talking about the hub is the difference is some chapters have many administrators, some have one or two or three. But I think it's good to know or to share you can have as many as you want for your chapter.
Very good point. Yeah. Because make as many, I say make everybody as possible an administrator, because somebody's going to run into question, they're not going to understand something, and then you've got someone else who can look at the same information that you're looking at.
I always
go ahead,
I would add people, that if you're only relying on officers to be your administrators, if by some chance you forget to update your officers, they could roll off, and then you're stuck with nobody to update your chapter information on the hub.
Good point.
I always suggest that you make sure that your chairs are on there, because your ability chair needs to be able to get in there and enter Amtrak stuff. It would be helpful if your secretary could go on there and put how many people were in your meeting. Your visibility chair goes and puts all those things. That's not just one person carrying all the load for entering that stuff.
And it really, really needs to be many more than one person, because it's way too much information. And it's so easy if you spread that out. Listing the people Donna listed, it's just a great idea. You automatically get president and treasurer, but everybody adds their secretary because the secretary can go in and do all of the loading of the new members and checking out the emails and the phone numbers and so on and so forth. Now, each member can go in and edit your own information. And please do that. If you change your email, go in there, edit it. It will change it everywhere. It's not like the old days where you have to let everybody know and send a giant email out. And then, half the people don't remember, me being one of them. National has to write it 3 times. We don't have to do it that way anymore. It's wonderful. You go in, you change it, it is done in the entire system. It's a great, great, great improvement. Next question. Wow. You're very quiet tonight.
I have a
Alright.
question, Donna.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
I'm a little confused on the $40 you talked about at the beginning.
It can be very confusing. So that is a choice. We call it program giving.
Okay.
And when we first started these programs, it was all scholarship. We did not have Cornerstone and we did not have Ability or Amtrak's. So it was a $40 donation to help fund scholarships at a national level. We also wanted to create a permanent endowment fund, which we have done. And so that fund is invested. We have an investment committee that oversees. Of course, we have a professional investment company handling it. So it's kept very close. We get reports on it often, and we know where our money is, and it's doing a great job. Each year, we take 4% of what our permanent fund is, and that's how we fund scholarships. Plus, there are some annual donations that are made to also fund scholarships. So scholarships was the first one, and they came up with the number $40 a year per member as a nice donation. That's over and above whatever your dues are, and so on and so forth. Sometimes it takes a little bit for the beginning chapters, the young chapters, to get going on that. You need to address and get your funds rolling. But once you do, then you can fund more than one, or you can submit more than one scholarship student application.
Okay.
And I can go into more detail when we actually meet about how that works.
Okay.
Did you mention that, when your chapter gives a minimum of $40 per member average, that your chapter gets points that goes towards your awards? And
Yeah,
also your Ability, when you buy Amtrak's, 25% of your purchase goes towards that $40 average. So you don't have to actually collect the money from your chapter members, though some chapters do. And like Donna said, originally it was just one $40, and we called it living endowment. It covered everything. And now it's $40 per area if you want to be 100% giving in those 3 areas, but it's not required.
No. And the Cornerstone is the one that is going to be helping your chapter. It'll pay your dues the first 2 quarters and provide those 10 trikes. Again, that's a choice. So as Donna alluded, you can do $40 in each section, and you do get activity card points for those. Most people do it because that's where their heart is and they want to make a donation. Again, those are all optional. But there are 3 funds now, and we started out with 1. So we've really grown in that area. Other questions? Robin looks like she's at the beach, but I know she is not.
Yeah, it's just virtual background.
Yes, she is. That's cheating, isn't it?
Yes.
I just let everybody look at my messy scrapbook room. That's all.
Oh, well. Jessica. Do you have any information you would like to add?
I don't think so. I think I would just say for some of the newer people, I know it's information overload and it's taken, when it comes to coming on as staff, we say it takes a solid year to really feel comfortable in your own position. And then you add these many different layers. It takes time. And there's a lot of people on this call who would be more than happy to talk you through some of the process of this stuff. If any of it piqued your interest.
Yes, so because Carmela is on, she's a past national president and past national Big Hat. She's a great resource. Terry is a current officer nationally with Big Hat. And Donna H is immediate past national president. And Robin Rapp and Judd are both, and Matt are region directors. So you have some resources right here that you can tap into and ask questions as you come along, because it really, really is a lot of information. And I knew it would be really, really, really information overload. But that's why you can take the individual slides, read them, investigate, go to the website, and poke around a little bit. But I hope that it kind of gives you some guidance and leadership toward the types of things that you want to ask about.
And I would highly suggest that you attend your regional conferences if you can, not just because the classes, the networking with other chapters and sharing ideas, I think is more valuable than anything when you go to those regional conferences. And I've gone to Southwest, not that they're any better than the others, but they're the closest one to me. And that's out of my region. I've gone to theirs several times just to get new ideas and learn from other people.
Excellent point. Yes, region conference and national conference, that, as I alluded in the slide, the person to person sitting around, talking, sharing ideas, all of a sudden, the brain just starts working. Oh, well, what about this? And what about this? And the brainstorming that goes on there. Some of the best projects are created just, yep, on the back of that napkin, we used to always say. And it's really, really true. And fortunately, I'll be able to attend all of the region conferences, and I just love doing it. Even when I wasn't an officer, I went to 2 or 3 whenever I could get to them, because I always felt like I learned something. I met new people. I got better ideas. And it just really, really enhanced my AMBUCS growth and what I wanted to do. Any more comments or
going to the
questions?
conferences also gives you more confidence and talking with other people of AMBUCS and asking questions. So you're in amongst your peers and everybody's so friendly and willing to give information and willing to send you their files and their links and whatever. So I think it gives you more confidence to go back to your own chapter and bring those ideas with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping to see you there, Sarah, at ours.
Oh, you're muted, Sarah.
That's the plan. And my mom, who is the treasurer she's on here right now. She's gonna be going too. So
Excellent. Yay. You're gonna have some first timers, Lisa.
I know, it's gonna be fun. We're excited.
It's gonna be great fun. So I know Lisa and her group are having one of the fun things we get to do is go to a rodeo. I don't get to do that very often, so I'm really excited about that.
I've never been to a rodeo, so I'm excited too. And the rodeo is put on by our downtown chapter of AMBUCS. So it's nice that we can work together and kind of collaborate on a Friday evening fun time.
It's a
That's
good
what-
rodeo. I've been there a couple times now. They always do a good job.
Good.
That's what
Well,
I hear.
well, I'm excited. And Lisa alluded to something we didn't talk about at all, but that is working with other chapters. It's imperative that we do that so that we can share the load again, so that we can have a broader experience. So we can also share the load and work with other organizations. I know that there are Kiwanis chapters that oftentimes will come out and help with different projects. They often will write a check for some of the things we're doing. They'll sponsor an Amtrak. So think outside of just the box of AMBUCS as well. We are shoulders together, but we're all shoulders together with everyone that wants to help out. Again, if you're doing a project and you're a really small chapter, you might want to go to the high school and tap into one of the clubs there and say, hey, would you like to come volunteer for one of our projects? We're going to play baseball and we need some buddies. Would you come out and do that? You can talk to the baseball team. There's just so many options. And then we are also including the youth in what we're doing and beginning to instill that thought of giving to others and not just themselves. It's incredible what young kids will do to help other people. Those are all some hints if you're a small chapter and you don't have a lot of persons to do all the work that you want to do. Spread it out, ask others. And then sometimes you get people to join that way too. Matt, would you want to talk about your region a little bit and your conference?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So this year's Southern Region Conference is going to be April 18th and 19th. One of my goals as regional director was to make sure that we have, that we put on some great conferences and that we do our best to enthuse people to attend. And, for my 2 years as regional director, I was looking for a mountain to the seas type thing. Last year, we were in Tybee Beach, Georgia. Not quite as nice as what it looks like Robin is enjoying right now, but we still had a great time. So this year we're going to be in the mountains of Western North Carolina. On Friday night we're going to be all our accommodations and our conference is in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. On Friday afternoon, Friday night, that's going to be our meet and greet and dinner in Maggie Valley. All of our business sessions, national news, and training sessions will be on Saturday morning. And then Saturday afternoon, we're planning on taking a little convoy through a 12-mile stretch of the Blue Ridge Parkway, culminating with us enjoying 360-degree views of the Blue Ridge Mountains on Water Rock Knob. And then we'll finish off Saturday evening in Waynesville, North Carolina, which is only just 5 miles away from Maggie Valley. So we're doing like a little loop there in the afternoon to take in all the festivities. It should be a good time. I'm hoping we have great weather. I'm looking forward to it. If you want to make a long weekend out of it, there's plenty of stuff to do there in the mountains. The Wheels Through Time Museum. Asheville is only less than 30 minutes away if you want to go visit the Biltmore House and just take in the Asheville community. The Great Smoky Mountains are just down the road. You can go into Cataloochee Valley and see the elk rutting in the spring season. It's going to be a good time. So I'm looking forward to it and hope everyone can make it.
Lots of different ideas there. Judd, would you want to describe yours? Mid-States Region Conference a little bit? Give these different people some ideas of different things that are going on?
Well, ours is a one-day event on April 11th. And in the morning, much like what Matt was talking about, most of the national presentation and education takes place. We're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So at this point in the afternoon, we have a special guest. Not going to describe the situation at this point, but it's something to be quite interesting. and different. And then the theme for this evening is the groovy 70s. So people can dress up. We'll have a DJ. All of it will be over at the Knights of Columbus Hall, which is right next to the Holiday Inn Express where people can stay. So it's within walking distance. But we're trying to be sensitive to people's time and money in this situation, and also being careful of the weather in West Michigan, and it's very unpredictable in early April. So anyway, so we were looking forward to combining both information and education with fun, but for those who want to make just a day of it, which I'm anticipating will be quite a few, they won't have to figure out accommodations, and they can still have lunch and dinner. And if they're staying overnight, of course, breakfast is included at the Holiday Inn Express as part of the reservation. So, but it should be a fun time. We're looking forward to it, and come bring some stuff to dress up in the 70s in the evening. We've used the facility before for other events. Spring Fest, which is a big event for us, will be actually in the same week, right after the regional conference, where we have 300 to 400 adult disabled people with their prom night. So the KFC is a very good place for us. We get along real well with them. And so that's going to be our site this time around.
Wonderful. Thank you, Judd. Well, Robin, you might as well add a little bit of spice to this. This way, everybody's kind of getting an overview of, if you go to Region Conference, what you might see and get to do and get to learn.
Okay. So my conference is in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania this year. Bethlehem has a lot of history associated with it. It's a great walking town. There's a large Moravian population, history and college there. So that's interesting. It's April 25th to 27th. Friday night, we'll gather at a local brewery. Saturday, my day is laid out similar to what the two gentlemen said before me. A morning of education, and then we'll have speakers like Jessica and Donna and Gordon and probably some others. And then Saturday evening, we'll take a walk across the street to a very nice restaurant that's there. We'll have our big hat auction at that point. And then I think it'll be Sunday morning. It might be Saturday morning. We will also have a election for Region Big Hat. Our current Region Big Hat is not going to continue the next year. So we have that. And then we also have a trike presentation on Sunday. So I hope you can join us. It's starting to finally warm up a little bit in Pennsylvania, as I sit here with a sweatshirt on now. But today I took a walk in just a long sleeve top and was very comfortable. So hopefully we'll be able to host you with some warm weather as well. But if anyone is interested, in a minute or two, there'll be some information on our Facebook and Instagram page. But you can always reach out to me. We would love to have you.
Thank you. And Donna, would you want to report on Great Plains?
Yeah, I would love to. It's going to be a little different this year. If you've been to the Great Plains region, it won't be quite as formal, a lot more fun. Still will be some training in there. It is May 1st through the 3rd. It's at the Sequoia State Park, which is in southeastern Oklahoma. It's really, really beautiful right on the lake. The PNPs are actually the ones chairing it this year. So each PNP that's involved has a different part to do. Mine is Saturday afternoon lunch. So I luckily am married to a very good cook who loves to smoke meat. So we're going to be having a barbecue Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun things going on. We have a pickleball tournament. There's going to be cornhole. We have a fire pit down at the end of the walk right out just kind of goes out onto the lake for s'mores one of the evenings. You can, rent a boat and go out boating if you want to. You can go horseback riding. So there's times put into the program for free time for all those fun things to do. So our big head auction is going to be a little bit different this year. Jenny has been really, our regional big hat director has been really pushing, don't bring a whole lot of alcohol. Our auction last year lasted on, I think, almost 3 hours. It was just too much. She's trying to get the chapters to, yeah, it was, believe it or not, Matt, all that alcohol. I skipped out. I had things to do. But she's been going around to the different chapters, just encouraging them to give so much money per big hat member, and then maybe just a few fun, good things for the auctions. So Jenny's been really doing different things in our region this year. In our region, if you big hat or big hat again during this year, you get a custom AMBUCS belt buckle that she had made up, which is really cool. So if you want to come down to Texas, we'd love to have you May 1st through the 3rd.
You're not in Texas, Donna.
Did I say Texas?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Oklahoma.
yeah.
She's in Oklahoma.
I don't know where that came from. Beats me. It's almost to Texas, where their conference is.
So, well, and this is very unique for Great Plains. So you see, we've got such a smattering of different types of conferences and different activities, all very diversified, interesting. Central is doing a funny theme about clowning around, but of course they're going to have a Saturday similar to all the others with a fun party on Friday night. And the Western region is going to do, I believe it's 3 hours, a 3-hour virtual conference. Their region is so scattered out, it's just not possible for any of those to really get together. And so in order to have the information given to them, they love to come to those Zoom meetings. We've been doing this since COVID with them. It works out really, really well. So that's kind of an idea of what region conference might have in store. And again, you don't really have to go to your own if it doesn't work out for you. As you can see, there's some interesting things going on. Does anybody have a specific question? If not, I have one more person that I'll talk to. Thank you all for all of your listening ears. It's been wonderful. Terry, would you want to give us a kind of a 2-minute spiel on Big Hat and membership? Kind of a promo, maybe?
Fina is here. Fina, are you
Fina
awake?
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry. I didn't.
That's okay. I just say her down here at the bottom. Sometimes she gets called away. There she is. She gets called away by her little son. So
I'm here.
Great.
Hi, Fina.
Hi.
Sorry, I missed you.
I'm having phone issues about putting my video on.
That's
I always
okay.
do this. Okay, so some big hat stuff. So basic big hat stuff is you bring 3 new members into AMBUCS in a 12-month period. And it starts from the first application that you turn in. It's a club inside the club to help bring in new members. And I'm having brain cramps today on words. They're hard. It's Monday. Bringing 3 new members in to help our membership grow. We are what we call the fun club. And we try to have as much fun as we possibly can. Doesn't always involve drinking. We do try to do a lot of things to have fun. And once you bring in your 3 new members, you get a fancy, as I call, a nice felt 10-gallon hat. And you get to sport it and wear it and say, look at me, I have a nice cowboy hat. And we try to have some competition between each other on who can bring in the most members or who has the most members. What am I missing, Donna? That's kind of the
That-
basic rundown.
Why don't you talk about your fundraiser just a
Oh,
tiny
yes,
bit?
yes,
Couple
yes.
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, it won't take me even that. So each year, National Big Hat President needs to come up with a way to bring in some extra funds to help with the National Wish List and Cornerstone or Ability and Cornerstone. And my fundraiser this year is Climb Aboard the Crazy Train. And tickets are 1 for $20 or 6 for $100. And you have 3 trips to pick from. You can either go on a fall actual train trip for a week, or you can go on an Alaskan cruise. Or if either one of those don't interest you and you have your own idea of what you'd like to do for a vacation, you can plan your own vacation. So that in a nutshell is what my fundraiser is. And if anybody still needs tickets, I do have some and I can always get more. You can also buy tickets off Zeffy. We do have a link on the national website page for that. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. All my contact information is on the national website.
Thank you, Fina. That was very comprehensive. And what a great opportunity for a trip. I just buy your tickets, everybody. It will be great fun. And we did talk, I don't know if you were on or not, but we did mention that those tickets can be sold to anybody. They do not have to be AMBUCS. Sell them to strangers in the elevator. I do it all the time.
Absolutely. Yes. Anybody. And Dawn, I got to bring you tickets. Don't let me forget for your sister. I keep forgetting to mail them, but I
Okay.
have them. So I will bring them Thursday.
All right. I'll try to remember. Okay, it is 7:28. We try to keep these in an hour. Does anybody else have another question? What a great group. I hope that this has been beneficial. I hope that you can use the link and research and delve into some of the topics that you end up having questions about. It's going to happen along the way. It won't all be, oh, one day I'm just going to sit down and learn this. It will be you're running your chapter and all of a sudden somebody asks you a question. You go, I don't know the answer to that. Oh, yes, it might be in that PowerPoint presentation. Let's go look. It's definitely on the website, but sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. So use whatever tool works for you. Find out what works. Use it. And of course, we're all here. You've seen most of your region and national officers here. Give them a call. Send us an email. Contact us. Don't sit there not knowing what you want an answer to. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause? If not, thank you everyone for attending. This was a lovely, lovely evening, and I wish the best for you all. Go out and enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you next time on the Zoom. Take
See you
care.
next time.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you at conferences.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.